built a $120,576 info company with this creator with 30,000 followers on Instagram. I'm gonna break down the 9-step process that I use to get these results so you can just copy me. This creator had made over $500,000 with his clothing brand. I helped him launch a mentorship where he helped other people start and scale their own clothing brands. He focused fully on content and fulfillment, where I manage everything else on the back end, including sales team, sales process, funnel, email marketing, VSLs, everything else on the back end. I completely manage that so he could focus fully on content and fulfillment as the two highest leverage things. So the first thing I help this creator with is market research, which is where you get to know who the actual customer is that you're gonna be serving. This is super important because it helps you lay all the groundwork for your marketing so you can create better marketing messages and you can design a better product that gets better student results. So the first thing I always do for market research is I go through all the other big creators in the info space in this specific niche. So I looked up all the other big info guys in the clothing brand space. I went through their YouTube videos, I went through their content, I looked at the CTAs they were doing, I looked at what their messaging was, I looked at their funnels, and I just took notes of everything that they were using in their messaging and all the different funnels they had, all the video sales letters. I saved those in a swipe file. So anytime I needed inspiration for marketing, I can just go back through and look through there. On top of that, I went through comment sections, I went through forums, I looked for the things that people are looking up questions for, and I saw basically what the people in that niche needed help with for achieving the transformation of starting and scaling a successful clothing brand. After going through all the content and funnels of the other successful people in that niche, then I dove into my creator's specific audience and got to know what they were like, what their overall demographic was, and psychographic. Demographic is their physical traits, like what's their gender, how old are they in school, are they working a job, how much money are they making, etc. And then their psychographics are what are their main pain points, what are their desires, what are their beliefs, etc., etc. And again, this helps a ton with marketing. This could be emails, this could be headlines for landing pages, this could be VSLs. This is super, super important. And we also get to know what their problems are so we can design a better product, because the better the product, the better student results you're gonna get. And obviously I'm gonna feel more convicted selling this offer, knowing that we're actually helping people. And then it's just a flywheel. The more student results you get, the more people want to join, and the easier it is to sell, the more convicted the sales team is, and then it just snowballs. So the way specifically we did this market research is we made a post on my creator's Instagram story. The typical Instagram story framework we do is we do some type of scroll stopper plus engagement. So they either click an emoji button, a poll, a slide, or something like that, which gets more engagement. It pushes the story out to more people. The next post says, hey, I'm working on this big thing for you guys. I need your help building it. I'll give you XYZ free thing in exchange for your feedback. So we sent them to a form. They filled it out. We also collected emails. So we got their name, we got their email, we got how old they were, how much they're making, how much they had to invest, what their main problems were, what their one big question was, what their desires were. And asking what's your one big question, then that gives you all of the objections, the potential objections that these customers will have. So then again, you can kill those objections before the actual sales call. You can kill them in your VSLs, in your emails, your landing page copy, etc. And the free thing we give them, it could just be some free YouTube video or something like that. I'm a big fan of just giving away as much long form content as possible. There's some crazy statistic. I don't know if it's exactly this, but it's something like if someone consumes 7 minutes of long form content, they're 90% more likely to buy from you. So it's some crazy statistic like that. So we always, even on short form platforms like Instagram, we're always trying to push out longer form videos, free value, and get people to consume value. And the more you help them for free, the more they trust that you can help them when they invest into your actual program. Another thing that I like to do is create that same exact post, offer free value. For this, we did a Calendly where we said, hey, book in a call. We have 10 to 20 spots. You'll book in a call with someone on my team, And in exchange, we'll select one person out of the people who show up to their calls who will get a free one-on-one call with me. And so then I took all those market research calls, or if you have someone else on your team, they can take those market research calls and get to know what the actual audience is like, get a feel for them, understand how they speak, what they're going to be like on sales calls, what their thought processes are. And that way you can overall just know who you're serving. Because the most important thing with any business that you're creating is you know exactly who you're helping, how to help them, and how to ultimately market and sell to them. Because if you know someone well enough, you can sell them anything. After in-depth market research, from there, we go on to creating the actual offer. I typically like to have a range of different price points because no matter what, there are going to be people in the audience who want to buy from you. And your goal is basically no matter what, if someone wants to buy from you, they're buying something. Even if they don't have enough money to invest in a multiple four-figure mentorship, they're at least gonna buy a $37 per month ticket. So what we came upon for this offer is we had a $37 per month community where we had a community, we had a course, and then we had one group call per week. And then we had a higher ticket offer, which was 2.8K or 1.4K split into two. And for this offer, we gave people 2 one-on-one calls, 2 extra group calls per week, and more in-depth of a course. Obviously, you can structure these however you want. As we scale up, we're not gonna be doing as much one-on-one access just because it's not as scalable. But this is the offer that we decided on. We made over 6 figures with this offer. I just wanted to take this quick break in this video and say, if you've been enjoying this, if you've been getting some value, I'd really appreciate it if you could go down and subscribe. I don't sell anything to my audience. My only goal is just to provide value and help you guys grow. Or if you are a creator and you want my help personally launching or scaling your own education company, you can go down and apply, get on the wait list. At the moment, I'm currently working with 2 creators and I'm at capacity. I can't take on any more creators, but you can get on the wait list in the future. Potentially there'd be an opportunity where we could work together. So you can go down below, you can get on the wait list, and potentially I'll be reaching out to you. Now, leading up to the actual launch, we collected emails, and obviously to do email marketing, I got my creator because I built this business from scratch, so I got my creator a domain from Squarespace. We warmed up this domain with this free software called instantly.ai, where it sends emails and receives emails from a pool of other emails that are getting warmed up. So we warmed this email up for 1 to 2 weeks, started sending emails out to everyone who filled out the market research form, and we do other CTAs like, here, give us your info, we'll give you this free thing. Collected a bunch of emails. We then sent 3 emails per week, and we use Active Campaign to send emails. We provided value, we told stories, we overcame objections, and we warmed people up a ton. And we also sent longer form content in those emails as well. So we just provided a ton of value and got people ready to buy. In terms of the actual funnel, we ran a simple DM funnel. The creator had 30K on IG. He also had a YouTube following. So on Instagram, we would do story CTAs. People would DM a keyword. We would have a DM setter go through a conversation, qualify them financially, ask where they were, what they're struggling with, what their goals were, etc. If they're financially qualified, book them in for a high ticket call, or if they're not financially qualified, downsell them to the lower ticket option. And then after they book in their call, they get redirected to a VSL. After that VSL, they go into the sales process, which I'll get into the sales process later, but that's how the actual DM funnel was. It was super simple. They DM a keyword, go through a DM setting conversation, get sent to book a call if they're qualified. After that, there's a VSL. And then for our other funnel on YouTube, we just sent everyone straight to a low ticket community at $37 a month. And then from there, we just provided a ton of value and we had a bunch of CTAs. We'd have group calls, but they're locked to regular members, and we made them a different color and we called it the inner circle. which created this FOMO and got people to want to get into the inner circle, obviously. And then we would have an application, go here, apply for the inner circle. And that way they watch a VSL, they get warmed up. They're like, okay, I want to see what this inner circle is about. And then they book in a call after that VSL. So we had CTAs under different videos. We had case study videos from people in the inner circle who had gotten results, and then there'd be a CTA under that video. And we just created this sense of FOMO. Another thing is on the regular group calls, the creator would mention like, oh yeah, we talked about that in my inner circle the other day, stuff like that, which just gets people really warm and it creates this FOMO effect. And they're like, damn, I need to buy the inner circle. In terms of writing out the VSL, I sat down with my creator and he walked me through his entire story. This is super important because you get to know your creator on a personal level, get to know what their transformation was, what their struggles were, what they actually went through in their journey. And your goal in your VSL is often to tie the prospect's current situation to the creator's old situation so that the prospect believes, oh, this person used to be just like I am now and they got to where I want to go, so they must be able to help me get there. Is that you know your creator's story super well and you do market research super well, so you can tie your creator's story to the market research, and it just creates a beautiful VSL where people are on their knees begging to get in. A really important thing for the VSL is you spend the majority of your time focusing on the hook and even just like the first thing that comes out of the creator's mouth. You want to make a bold promise and then give a time frame. So for example, my name's Braden, and over the next 7 minutes, I'm gonna tell you exactly how you can scale to $120,000 without XYZ pain point using XYZ unique mechanism. So now that everything is set, we've done the market research, we've made the offer. Obviously, the creator has done the majority of building the actual product because they're the expert. I'll often help the creator build the product as well, just make sure it's framed right, make sure it's digestible, and it's an actual step-by-step process that will get people results. The funnel's built out, everything's ready for launch. The last couple things we need are the sales process and the back-end automation. So for the sales process, I did talent acquisition for this creator. So I hit up people in my network. I also hit some sales talent agencies, and I got a closer and a DM setter placed on this offer. And for this hiring process, the most important thing is that I get to know the potential closer on a personal level. What are they like as a person? Are they ambitious? Are they humble? Are they coachable, right? That's a big thing that I hate in closers, is closers who have a big ego and who aren't coachable. So that's something I always look for. I also always look for someone who has previous experience. Obviously, it's a lot harder to train someone up from zero. And then overall, I'll just ask, like, what did the last offer owner that you worked with think about you? What were your stats? What was your close rate? What was your average order value? Everything like that, just to get to know your closer as a person. But the biggest thing with hiring talent is you'll just know it in your gut if they're a good fit or not. And so I've had a lot of calls where I'll hop on, I'll ask them a few questions, and I'll just be like, you know, I can tell you're not a good fit. And another thing that I highly recommend is you actually run mock calls with a closer before you hire them. Because I've made this mistake in the past where I've hired a closer too quickly. I onboard them, we run mock calls, and then I'm like, oh shit, you actually kind of suck. And then that's a really difficult conversation because they've already gotten excited, you've already onboarded them, and then all of a sudden you're saying like, hey, I'm not feeling too good about this. So for this particular offer, like I said, we had a closer and we had a DM setter. And for managing the team, we just did 1 or 2 meetings a week in which we'd review conversations. We'd go through how everything was flowing. We'd communicate, obviously, between the sales and the marketing is super important. Like, hey, do we need to add or remove friction for the funnel? Like, are the leads super unqualified, or do we have qualified leads and we just need more lead flow? And that way we can kind of make sure that the pipe is flowing well and we're getting enough leads and we're getting high quality leads for the sales team. So communication between sales and marketing is super, super important. And then for the actual sales system, the way it worked is a prospect would book in their call. Right after they book in their call, the closer sees that. The closer dials them up, confirms their appointment, requalifies qualifies them, make sure that they booked it in for the right time, and then does like a mini setting call. Basically, we call it a triage call. And then they set the frame for the actual interview, which is super important. You say, hey, this is an actual interview. This creator is super selective with who he lets into his inner circle. It's really important that you show up to this call in a quiet environment so you can give it your full attention. If you miss your call, you're not going to get a chance to reschedule. Can you give me a virtual handshake that you are going to pull up to the call? And then that's super powerful. I know it feels small doing a virtual handshake, but the commitment principle is super strong. If you get someone to verbally commit both to themselves and to someone else that they're going to do something, it's very likely that they're going to follow through with that. So that actually gets people to show up to the call, take the call seriously, and actually be in a mindset to take in and go through the actual sales process that the closer brings them through. So the way we typically frame our sales calls is prospect hops on. Obviously, most important thing is just establishing a connection with this person because you're truly trying to help them. The best closers care more about the prospect than the prospect cares about themselves. Get to know them as a person, see where they're based at. From there, you go into the intro phase. First question you always ask is, why are you here? What problem are you trying to solve, etc.? What made you want to apply? Go into where they're at currently, what made them want to start, what their goals are, and then what's actually holding them back, how that problem is impacting their life. Typically with a consumer offer like this, it's a lot more of an emotional based close. So you want to get deeper into their emotions. A lot of times these calls are actually pretty heavy, but they're really important because people will scratch, claw, and bite to stay exactly where they are. And it's our job as marketers and as salesmen to get people to actually take action and change their lives. So using scarcity, using urgency, bringing people through a psychological process is really, really important to actually get them to take action and change their lives, because a lot of people don't even realize how bad their situation is. And then the last thing that I had set up on the back end were just some automations. So inside of Slack, Go High Level, Zapier, I had some automation set up. So inside of the Go High Level pipeline, I had these various stages. Now I'm actually going to break these down on my computer so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And in terms of backend, this is what we had set up inside of the Go High Level pipeline. So we had call booked. Whenever somebody booked in a call, it would automatically send them here, along with info in their contact details, like how much they make, how much they have saved up to invest, etc. Anyone who's unqualified will get sent here, where we can downsell them to low ticket. We had a reschedule option, or reschedule stage in the pipeline. We had no show and didn't close. So whenever a prospect did not close or they didn't show, the closer will just drag them from call booked to no show or didn't close, and then it'll send a message in the Slack. We have an automation set up. It sends a message in the Slack to the setter tasks, and it says, hey, this person didn't show, follow up with them. And then there'll be a follow-up protocol for each one, depending on their actual reason. And then we also have a deposit, a closed split, and then a closed paid in full. So this is the pipeline we had set up. In terms of automations, we only had a couple inside of the Go High Level pipeline. So we had a call booked. Whenever somebody booked in a call, it would send a message to Slack. It'll add them a tag as call booked. It'll create them in the pipeline. It'll assign them to the closer. It'll send a message in Slack, hey, this person booked. And then it adds them to an SMS and an email flow, which increases show rate. So we send them an email and text immediately after they book, 24 hours before their appointment, 3 hours before it, and then 30 minutes before it's actually starting. And this increases show rate a ton. Our show rate was crazy. It was actually like 95%. And then our close automation, whenever the closer closes them and receives the payment, they'll drag them to the closed option in the pipeline. It just sends a message to Slack, hey, this person closed for XYZ amount. And then it sends the prospect an onboarding email. So this is what the onboarding email looked like. This is really important. The onboarding process is super, super important with any specific offer that you're selling. So it just welcomes their mentorship, appreciate you, everything like that. Here's the agreement. We frame the contract as an agreement so it's less scary. Here's the agreement, fill this out. It's just a form So that way the closer doesn't have to fill it out, and then end of day it just emails it to the creator. There's a welcome form, which again just feels like they didn't just buy air. They're feeling actually like warmed up and special. Add the weekly group calls to your calendar, separate email for the inner circle program. There's a roadmap, and then a link to book in their first one-on-one call. So that's what the onboarding email looks like. And then the other two automations for no closes and no shows, it sends a message to Slack and says, hey, this person didn't show, this person didn't close, follow up with them. And then the other automations we had inside of Zapier is whenever a lead closed, it adds them to this Google Sheet where we basically track how much they closed for. It automates a lot of it. I don't want to leak any of our internal data, but it automates what their name is, who closed them, how much they're closed for, what date they're closed on, and then you can also include what traffic source they came from, and then follow-ups for getting split pays and stuff like that. This is the invite to the school, so they get access to the program. When you drag them to closed inside of the high-level pipeline, it invites them to school. We also, whenever a new person buys the school low ticket, it adds them to an email list, and then it adds them to an upsell email flow sequence. And yeah, those are the main things we have. We also have EOD forms, so whenever our setters and closers fill out EODs, we can keep track of all that data there. So yeah, this is what the bulk of the actual backend systems look like. So that is all the main things I did step by step, scaling this creator from complete scratch, 30,000 followers on IG, to launching this company and growing to over $120,000 in just the past few months, literally from scratch. And we're gonna continue to scale from here. Again, I don't sell anything to my own audience. So if you want more videos like this, if you want more value, you can just subscribe, follow me on IG. Or if you are a creator and you want to get on the wait list to see if I can personally help you scale your business, you can go down below and apply and get on the wait list, and I will potentially be reaching out to you soon. I'll catch you in the next one.